Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
What's going on? I am Food Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned in to another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own takes and reviews of TV and movies straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, buddy?
Man, can't call it, man. It's a lot of slow motion shit going on this way, but your boy gonna
Absolutely.
survive like always. But how you been, man? Everything been good with you?
Man, I can't complain, bro. Everything is going smooth and steady, man. I'm actually excited about this week. Some good things are coming. Some good things are on the way. I'm not at liberty to discuss them yet.
Okay.
But I believe I mentioned it to you off air. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I don't even know if I said that on here yet. But either way, man, it's just some stuff that, you know what I'm saying, we've been talking about behind the scenes, me and Steve. He brought
Oh
up
yeah. You told me. Yeah, we talked about that.
he brought up a dope project, man, and I'm just super excited. I've been coming up with some stuff and some ideas and stuff for him. So, just trying to see what that's gonna end up being like. So,
That's what's up, man. I'm excited to see the outcome for that, man. Like I say, man, that one pod y'all did, really good flow, good topics, but like I think all of those early days conversations always really be good because when you see
yeah,
like how you in that podcast that you may have started or you moved on from, like to see that progress go up. Like that conversation is always fun. But
hmm
but Siege be on this shit though. You know what I'm saying? That was a good pod. So I'm
yeah,
excited to
big
see
time,
I'm excited to
big
see
time,
what
man,
y'all
big
what y'all
time.
got cooking up, man.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for it, man. So far it's looking like something that I'm gonna be real interested in, and it's one of those things that you know what I'm saying, like it's gonna be for the casual viewer. You know what I'm saying, that if you like that kind of stuff, you ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying, too outside the loop. Let me say about everything. So I'm excited about it, man. But listen, man, we got a fun episode today. We got a super exciting episode today. We have one, I guess you could kind of say, in honor of, you know what I'm saying, House Party being the new House Party being released. Um,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? We decided to cover, and this, what's the crazy part is that this wasn't planned. This was just one of
No,
them
it wasn't.
things to where we was like, let's put this one on this day. And it just so happened to be that House Party was recently released. And so, man, you know what I'm saying? Today, as you guys already have seen, we're covering Class Act. A huge fan of Kid and well, not a huge fan, but I'm a fan of Kid and Play. Um, I enjoy, you know what I'm saying, their movies for sure. House Parties was the two house parties that they did was dope because I think three was
Who was three? I know
wasn't
I
three
know
Marcus
Immature
Houston.
was Marcus Houston. I think there was four. Or was they three? Or was they three and four? I can't remember, but you're right though. I think they was just in like I think they might have made appearances in like three and
Yeah,
four or
definitely
whatever.
probably made
But
appearances.
yeah, but it
I
wasn't
just
about
remember
them
House
anymore.
Party 1 and 2 being about Kid and
Yeah.
Play, and then I
Hmm.
think that's when they start fading out as far as the age range. And then I remember what else was that? It's something else that they did too. It was House Party 1 and 2, Class Act, which is what we're doing now. And was it another one or was
Hmm.
they like maybe they did a guest role in one of them joints. But either way, man, we doing Class Act. This has amazing ensemble. Um, Kid and Play, um, Thomas Michael Ford, uh, man, who else in this joint?
Man, you got Who else is in the joint? Loretta Devine, man. Come on.
Mhm.
Who else is in here? Who else? Loretta's in here. You got Andre Rosie Brown. He was the guard. He was in. I think he cool with them because I think they was in. I think he was in House Party too. He was the What was he in House Party? I felt like he was in. I felt like he was in House Party too. But you got your girl that play Hillary. What's her name? Play Hillary
Um.
Banks.
Oh my God.
What is her name?
Shit.
I forget what her name is, dude. But you got Dougie Doug. He's in this joint.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Dougie. Doug. Yo, he was a very underrated like '90s comedic actor. He didn't get a lot of love in that time. Remember that movie he did with the cat or like the dog or something?
Uh, no, I just remember him in Cool Runnings.
Yeah,
So,
he did another movie where he was like they was watching a dog or him and the other dude was supposed to be protecting the dog or babysitting the dog. I think it was called like C Spot Run or something like that. But that was a wild time for him. He had a nice little ensemble of movies, and they didn't show my man no love whatsoever, bro. They used to shit on Dougie Doug, bro. He was on the Cosby Show too.
yes, yes.
But yeah, they god damn, I'm still trying to think of Hillary's name, bro.
Uh, I think it was it Kaylin Parker no Parsons or something like that.
Karen Parsons.
Yes.
Yeah, good shit, good shit. So Karen Parsons was in this joint, man. And basically the whole premise of this movie is kid who is like the nerd of the school ends up running into play who is like the no, I'm sorry. Kid is Duncan Penderhughes. That's
Hmm.
his name. I don't know why I'm thinking they kid and playing this. They kid and playing other. But kid is Duncan Penderhughes, and he runs into play who is Blade Brown, and basically Blade Brown is like the popular kid in school. He the dude all the girls want. He the cool dude. He got the car and all that. Duncan Pender Hughes is basically the nerd kid who pretty much he going to college. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no choice. He got to come from a well-to-do family, and you know what I'm saying? He basically gets forced by Blade Brown to take a test or do something about his grades. I forgot what happened. Do something about his grades or whatever. And then in turn, he was supposed to teach kid how to be cool, you know what I'm saying, and how to get the ladies, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, as you can already tell, antics ensued and it was an adventure from there on. So going back and watching this one, uh what was your thoughts? How did you feel about this? I already know you laughed because the movie is funny as hell. But like, what was some of the things that you seen and was like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Yeah, this movie, man, is even though there was a lot of like, even being older, there was a lot of stuff that's like, all right, y'all went a little far here. It's still funny. It's still enjoyable. To me,
Hmm.
honestly, it still holds up. Like the scene when Duncan and Blade was talking, when Blade was trying to tell him, yo, you need to start talking like this. And he was just like, he said, look, he said, oh, how did he put it? He was like, you don't he said, you don't be talking to no girls. You be talking to a bitch. And he was like, and he was like, and he was just like doing all this little stuff. And he was like, when he was like, yo, why when this happened, he's like, yo, that's stupid. And he didn't get it. Like he was just like, "Yo, that's the
Yeah.
stupidest thing I ever heard." He was like, "Yeah, I know." and he was just like, "Man," he's like, "Yo, that's deaf." He was like, "You're deaf?" He was like, "Yeah, deaf." He was like, "Blade Brown." He was just biggest asshole ever. Like even though it's so stupid, this shit is still funny and it still holds up. And it's like,
Absolutely.
but there are stuff though. If we're gonna do that, because look, we normally do this on the spot. Like,
Hmm.
there's no way that this shit would happen the way it happened. Like when the switch happened, like you can
Hmm.
tell, like yo, something is wrong here. Like we just nobody's gonna believe the way that Duncan was that he was Blade Brown. Like
Absolutely. Especially
like
after hearing the rumor of who Blade Brown was.
yeah, and like the one part when I'm trying, oh, man, what was his name in this?
What
I
was
want to.
Dougie Doug's name in this?
That's who I'm talking about. Popsicle.
Wasn't it
So
Popsicle?
Popsicle, like he said, hey, tell him what happened to the last dude that tried to fuck with you. He was sitting there reading it, and
Yeah.
he said in a conclusion. You trying to say concussion? Hey, but I'm talking about that shit was funny. But then at the same time, it's like when you what dude, I can't remember anybody's name today. My man that was always fucking with him, always trying to beat him up because he kept trying to
um
holler at your girl. I remember you saying you fucked with her back in the day because she was Demeter Wedge.
yeah, for sure.
Wedge. So Wedge, yo, it's like, all right, if you see the girl that you call your girl, she sit here hitting on this dude. She's sliding her desk closer. He keeps sliding his desk away, and she keeps sliding closer. Obviously, your girl got her eyes on another dude. Why is
That
you mad
that
at
was
this
one of the
man?
funniest scenes. That was one of the funniest scenes in the movie, though. I gotta admit that one. When he was scooting away, and then she was scooting closer, and then Wedge was scooting up behind
Hey,
and
and
moving.
Popsicle was scoop.
Hey,
Hey,
bro.
Popsicle was scooting up too.
Oh, see, I ain't see that part. I wasn't even paying attention to Popsicle. It was the part where Wedge was doing it too that made me laugh, bro. Cause I'm like, bro, that's exactly how a bully would be, bro. Just a salt ball. Just he hate the fact that my man out here getting the love that he getting, bro.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I didn't notice it until I watched it this time. And that's what I'm saying. That's what's so great about going back and watching these movies because I didn't notice Popsicle was he was scooting up too. So
Hmm.
not Popsicle. Damn, what
Wedge,
was Popsicle? Well, but yeah, like it was like, dude, that part was funny, but it's just like when you go back and you look at it, it's just like, yo, like come on, man. Like obviously your girl got her eyes on somebody else. Why you want to fight this man after school?
bro. Can we talk about how what I'm saying? She was basically trying to sexually harass my nigga. You know what I'm saying, Duncan, bro.
Man, she definitely was sexual harassing that dude, but and see, and this is the
Like
thing.
all my nigga was trying to do was get in school, you know what I'm saying, get his grades up, and you know what I'm saying, and be a great student. And she was not letting my nigga be great, bro.
No, not at all. I mean, handing out her phone number and getting my man hemmed up. You know what I'm saying?
Come
That's
on,
but
man.
this is my thing. Like your girl is he didn't ask for her phone number. She gave him the
Mhm.
phone number. And you want to fight this dude after school. Now, don't fight the girl.
Right.
We don't want you to do that. But still at the same time, it's kind of like if you the man like you supposed to be the man, why you just won't holler at somebody else? I know Demeter's probably the baddest girl on that side of the school. You know what I'm saying? Because you know
100.
that school. So it's just like, yeah. And dude, Wedge was an idiot. But he was funny though. He was funny. Like even though when you look back at it, it was all like the corniest stuff, but at the same time, it's still hilarious. Like to me, this movie still holds up. It's like a very underrated movie. Like I'm pretty sure this movie didn't make like a lot of money and stuff like that. But I think this movie's impact is bigger on the culture than what this movie is. You know what I mean? Because like, is the acting all
Mm-hmm.
great? No. You know what I'm saying? Did
Absolutely.
was the story the best? No. But what it does for people who grew up watching this movie, I think it means more to, you know what I'm saying, a certain group of people than what this movie
Mm-hmm.
actually was. If I'm making am I making any sense?
No, you're making a lot of sense. You're making a lot of sense. And the crazy part is though is like not only you know what I'm saying with what you're saying, it ages well because
Yes.
this is one of those this is one of those movies as well where you know what I'm saying like regardless of what person you could possibly be in this movie, that's high school. Like that's just how high school is. Now, granted, all the motherfuckers is way too old to play anybody in high school, but you know what I'm saying. Come on, bro. Now that's
Reg,
one thing
31
that
years old.
come on, bro. All them niggas, nigga, all they movies is like that. Remember in House Party Full Force, all them niggas was like 30 something. But I mean, like just in general, bro, like you can, you know what I'm saying, you could find somebody to relate to in that cast if, you know what I'm saying, you watching this for the first time or if you never seen this before, blah blah blah. Like it's always somebody that you can see, um it's always somebody you can see in this movie and be like, oh yeah, I kinda know what that's like. So, you know what I'm saying? I kinda get it.
Yeah, but they do that a lot now. Like, man, even when you look at, for instance, I saw like this little thing that they had when they were talking about Wednesday, and they were showing the age of everybody that's in Wednesday. Like the youngest person was 20, and like everybody playing
Right.
16, 17-year-old people. And like there was even one girl, the one black girl that was in Wednesday, she was 29.
Hmm.
So it's just like
Right.
we seen this before. So I mean, this ain't anything new. Like they still got like a lot of older people playing kids. I mean, even when you think about the show on Euphoria, I know you don't watch it, but like Zendaya is like what 25 now or something like that, and she's still playing. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying? A
bet that.
junior or senior
But
in
she
high school.
looked like she could be
She
in high
does
school.
look young. Yeah,
These
she does
niggas
look
was
young.
full. The only person in this movie that possibly looked like they could have been in high school was kind of like kid, and he looked like a college freshman. So like the rest of them niggas, bro, nah, bro, absolutely not. Like them was grown ass people through and through.
Yeah, and like I said, like this movie, it wouldn't never like win any awards and all like that. But it's just more of like there are movies that have a certain impact on a certain group, just like House
Hmm.
Party has a certain impact. This movie, The Last Dragon, like there were some movies
Absolutely.
that just really just stood out and that was just different. And Class Act was one of those movies for me because even though now back then, like this movie came out in '92. So is it possible that someone could bump in this? Because the way that this switch happened, for if there are some people who never seen this movie before, is so Blade Brown is walking through school, being Blade Brown, pushing people out of the way. Him and Duncan Penderhughes, they go face to face. Blade throws him through a door where the principal lady just happened, well, secondary lady would just happen to be in there putting up their files, and then the files go up
Hmm.
in the air, the pictures separate, and the pictures just happen to land on the opposite damn paper.
Right.
And another part that was funny was when the principal dude was talking to them, and he's talking to Blade, and like, man, you have a sensational record. He was like, yeah, I know. And he's talking about how many times he done been to jail and shit. And he's like,
Hmm.
he's talking about his damn GPA and all of this. So like that, and then when Duncan went in there and he thought he was Blade, this motherfucker grabbing the back. You know what I'm saying? Trying to act all hard and shit. It was just like, but to think that that's how the switch happened, and then when Blade figured out what was going on, he goes to Duncan and was like, "Yo, I want you to remain me so I can have good grades." And then he ended up making the deal with him. Was like, "Okay, well, you pass gym for me." But this is the one problem I have with this. So if Duncan's supposed to be just now, and I think that, I mean, look, the answer to this is easy. He has all the book smarts in the world. I've ran across people like this. They have all the book smarts in the world, but common sense, they're dumb as hell. Because
Absolutely.
why would you agree to be like, okay, you just take gym for me so I can pass gym? You got a 4.0 GPA. You don't think this dude gonna fuck up all your other classes?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you gonna go to some college and Blade Brown, the person who don't supposed to sniff advanced classes, he's taking all your other classes, and the only class you worried about is passing gym. It's
I
like,
mean,
come on,
eventually,
man.
you know what I'm saying? Like, he got it together, though. That to me, that was the thing that I really dug about Kid and Play was the fact that, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though they, you know what I'm saying, would have, you know what I'm saying, like those opposite sides of the spectrum of, you know what I'm saying, young black kids at that time, it was always, you know what I'm saying, like a positive meaning and a positive message behind all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even with Blade Brown, like, and I know I'm moving a lot further into the movie, but like when he was with Karen Parsons' character, I forgot what her name is too, but when he was with her, and you know what I'm saying, like he was trying to hit it, but at the same time, he, you know what I'm saying, he was trying to respect her because he was really digging her, like he really liked her. So you know what I'm saying, like he kind of laid off of the Mac Daddy shit for a while. He kind of, you know what I'm saying, he was trying to charm her
Yeah,
and woo her. And then compared to Duncan, who's used to that, he was more so just trying to get to the point to where he just trying to hit it. You know what I'm saying? So like them trying to beat each other, I think was funny as hell, but at the same time, like they grew from that whole situation. And it, you know what I'm saying? Like they made sure to show that toward the end, like they all, you know what I'm saying, they would, or you know what I'm saying, like at the end when he was getting some and his dad walked in or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, like when he finally stood up for himself type shit, like, and I'm talking about Duncan for the people that's listening, but you know what I'm saying, like those things, those are the type of things that you see, or you know what I'm saying, when Blade finally, you know what I'm saying, taking school serious and messing
hmm
around, hustling with Tommy's character and all that type of stuff. So, like, I really appreciated the fact that they did that. You know what I'm saying? With these movies.
yeah, because what you end up seeing is both of them started. They needed each other to grow. And what I mean by that is
Mm-hmm.
like Blade needed somebody to somehow motivate him to start taking school more seriously. And then him and his mama, they had a little moment where he put the flower, in the kitchen, and she's
Mm-hmm.
seeing him doing homework. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, "Oh, I can
Yeah.
see he's finally starting to make a change." And then with Duncan, with him only being focused on school, like now he was opened up to actually living. Because I don't think Duncan, like he was just going through high school. He wasn't living. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think
Right.
what Blade brought out of him, and also like you said, for him to stand up for himself. Even though, you know, even though Blade had his two dudes to go around and beat up Wedge, so he never had no problems. But he still ended up standing up for himself. Even that scene where they, oh man, one of my favorite. It is just one of the most simplest lines, and it's one of my
Mm-hmm.
favorite lines in this movie. So when he went to pick up Demeter, and they went out to eat, right? And so like the dudes was catcalling her or whatever, and so the dudes come over and say, "Yo, you wouldn't mind if my friend, get a dance with your girl?" And he was just like okay. And then so she stood up, "Don't touch me, don't you ever fucking touch me." And she was like, "Yo," she was like, "You ain't gonna do nothing about that." And my man said, "Yo," he said, "Look," it was so funny to me. He said, "Yo, Tails, we beat him up. heads we beat them up. To me, I don't know why that's so funny to me, but the way he said it, he was just like, "Yo, tails we beat them up, heads we beat them up." And
Right.
so, and then they was like, "Yo," then they said the name Blade Brown. I was like, "Wait, you Blade Brown?" And so then he was like, "Yeah," and he stood up, "Yeah." And it was just like to see to see him finally like, oh, okay, so like this Blade Brown name and reputation,
Right.
it gives you that opportunity to act hard because nobody's gonna test you. My thing is
Yeah.
like, so let me ask you this: how does the real Blade Brown get this reputation? Because it's just like, yo, like what was Blade Brown really doing to
Well,
everybody?
we seen the fact how, you know what I'm saying, like Blade Brown was this he was basically this, like, I don't want to say thug, but you seen who he was hanging around, like the you know what I'm saying, he was hanging around all the cool kids, you know what I'm saying, he was hemming everybody up, he smacking people in the hallway, like he was like the quintessential, not necessarily bully, because he really wasn't no bully. He was just like the popular kid in school who just, like, he had everything going for himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it was just dope to see that, he was able to, like, be that character, but not be like the ultra tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't just going in stuffing dudes in the lockers and stuff. Like, he was like, when he was picking with kids, it was like lightweight picking with kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, just something you do because that's what the cool kids did in the school. It wasn't no, like, he was beating them and, you know what I'm saying, giving them wedgies and shit like that. Like, it wasn't a quote unquote, or the bully per se. He was just pretty much just being a popular kid in school.
I mean, yeah, this is true. This is true. He was, and it, but it wasn't just school. It was just like everywhere he went. Like even when he was in the club, which he was way too young to be in that club,
Absolutely.
and then he's getting all the girls in there, and it's funny watching, you know what I'm saying, kid like act like he don't know how to dance, and he's doing like the whole little weird dance and
Yeah.
stuff, and then like he kept trying to holler at all the girls, and all of them kept walking off. So like, but I will say this: every movie that they play in, Play is always the one that gets all the girls. You know what I'm saying? Even in House Party,
Absolutely.
he was the one that was portrayed to be the man. And even in this, he
Yep.
played to be the man. And I don't know if they really kind of agreed to that. It's like where where Christopher Reed is more like, well, I look more like a nerd, so I can play that nerd character a whole lot better. And you can always play the ladies' man and the person that always, you know what I'm saying, either hard or popular or whatever the case may be. So I think that Play just plays that part a whole lot better than Kid does. So maybe that's just something that they just always agreed to because it's always kind of like that. Because even in House Party, like Play was the one who, you know, he pulled up. He the one that had all the girls, all that type of stuff, and then Kid was always trying to. He was always on the rise. Like he was always trying to get the girls when
Yeah.
Play already had them. So, but I think that they both just really just played that part. Those separate parts they play on really well. But
Right.
but yeah, it's but when you go back and watch it, it's like when you are in the, all right now. I don't know why Siri does this to me. Um, and it only does it when I'm hiding. Only
Bro,
does it when I'm hiding.
so I know this don't got nothing to do with what we talk about, but if you say "Hey Derek" to your phone, it'll do that too.
I don't never ask her.
No,
That's the
I'm saying,
crazy
but
part.
if you say, if you call her Sherrick, it'll do it too.
Oh. but but yeah, like but it was good. It's good to see them. both grow as different people, and then what ended up happening is they ended up seeing that they have a little bit more in common, and they end up being cool. But I think that at the same time, with the whole thing that's going on, because okay, so we ain't really been talking about the movie. So when it comes to Wedge, right? So Wedge,
Mhm.
oh man, what's his name? What's his name in this? So Wedge is working for for Mink. He's working for Mink.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening with them two is because Wedge is supposed to be like the big man on
Wedge is the
campus.
yeah. I say Wedge is
He's a
actually the
drug
bully.
dealer. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually the bully and the drug dealer that's running drugs for Mink in there. And but Blade Brown keep well, quote unquote, Blade Brown is keep whooping his ass and his reputation is getting fucked up. So now
Yeah.
Mink has to get involved, and so Mink ends up going to go kidnap Blade Brown, and so they basically got to fix that whole thing. Which it's always good to see Tommy, man, because
Yeah.
he he has that funny where it's just he was so natural, man. Like let's give him a moment real quick because even on the show Martin, like everything just flows with him. Like
Mhm.
I've never seen. I don't know if he. You would know more than me. I don't know if he was a stand up or not. But
No, he was an actual actor. Remember, he was in Harlem Nights. He was in
yeah,
he's been like in a bunch of stuff. I don't know if he's like classically trained, but I know for sure he's just like a regular actor.
man. To me, he's funny, man. Like he has
Yeah.
moments
Yeah.
that stands out. Like we was talking before the pod. Like he had the moment where they went into the wax museum and
Mhm.
Wedge was like, he said, "Hey," he said, "There's Chuck Woolery." He was like, "Hey, Chuck Woolery, stupid. That's Billy Swagger." He was wrong. And then they
Yeah.
walking through, and he's like, who was it? Oh man, it was country dude. What's his name? Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
He was like, hey, he said that was Willie Nelson. He was like, that ain't Willie Nelson, stupid. That's Colonel Sanders. I was just like, and just the way that he say it, like he ain't even trying to be funny, but the shit just comes off so funny to me. And it's like
Yeah.
he don't. And then his laugh, it's universal. It's like you can just play like a montage of people laughing, and you
Mhm.
put Tommy's laugh in there, you definitely gonna know. Yeah, that's Tommy right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. I hate that he passed away, man. He was he was good at what he does, man. But it was good to see him in this, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I forgot that he was in this, but it was just good to see him in this.
Yeah, man. And it's for me, right? It's to me, it's just that the thing of this movie being so good because it's basically the the classic, you know what I'm saying, high school tale of, you know what I'm saying, like nerd, popular kid become friends, you know what I'm saying, they defeat the bully, get everything over with, and then everything is all good at the end of the day. And I think it was a dope spin on it, the way that they, you know what I'm saying, like put this movie together and had everything going. Because like how many times do we get a chance to see um not just a movie like this, but two dudes where, you know, at the height of their careers, and I mean like at the height of their careers, like I don't think people understand just how big Kid and Play was. And so them
Dude,
being at the height of
they
their
still
careers,
touring.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People forget they are a rap group, or duo.
Mhm.
They a rap duo. They had a cartoon. They had their own cereal. They had their own toys. Like these dudes was like they was like on top of the world. And so for them to make movies that like this, like how they did House Party, you know what I'm saying? How they did this, where they showed you like you don't have to be this stereotype, you know what I'm saying, of a kid. You can actually just pretty much go out there and just be yourself and do what you want. Because at the end of the day, that's all that they ended up finding out anyway. Is just if you be yourself, you know what I'm saying, you can get everything that you want. Like you just have to put, you know what I'm saying, forth the effort to do it. You know, he didn't have to like Duncan didn't have to be Blade Brown in order to, you know what I'm saying, get the girls and be cool. I mean, he had to be Blade Brown to pass gym class, but outside of that, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
that was pretty much about it. Like, and Blade didn't have to be Duncan, you know what I'm saying, to actually start putting forth an effort and doing something in school, and you know what I'm saying, trying to make sure his grades got up and being a better person. And I think that's like they always had some type of um they always had some type of like meaning or moral at the end of the story when they did these
Yeah.
movies. And you, I mean, I just appreciate that. Just you know, what I'm saying, growing up as a kid and seeing that, you know, what I'm saying, having those positive reinforcements in movies like that because everything about it wasn't positive. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like we talked about how you know what I'm saying, Wedge was a drug dealer, and you know what I'm saying, he was working for Mink. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, like we all know that one dude who in school, you know what I'm saying, pushing.
Yeah, like we all know, and the one thing that they did do is the fact of they didn't really they didn't like mention like, yo, Wedge, you are a drug dealer. Like the way that they even told us that Wedge was a drug dealer was when he chased down um Popsicle and was like, yo, like, give me your money. You know what I'm saying? Like you asked for the
Mm-hmm.
basically you asked for the drugs, give me the money. And even after that scene, Duncan, who was people still thought that he was Blade Brown at the time, like was like, yo, like if you do that, like we ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, so he's
Yeah,
basically saying like, yo, like we can't be friends, we can't be cool if you're gonna be doing drugs. So like, yeah, they always
absolutely.
really had positive reinforcements in their films. Like, like for instance, right? And the reason I'm taking over y'all, he Scoot popped off the screen, but I just thought of something. Um,
Now go ahead.
so
You on a great
the
path.
whole
You going the same route I was going.
the whole conversation, like, so you remember when they got out of jail in House Party, so they riding with Martin in the back, and he's asking about cause him and Sydney just had that real big kiss or whatever, and so they
Mm-hmm.
was like, yo, like what color were the panties? And so he was like, yo, like we got into it, but he was like, well, what happened? He was like, I ain't have no rubber. He was like, man, fuck all that, man. He was like, man, you can hit it or whatever. And he was like, and like he was just saying like, you got one that's talking about safe sex, and you got one that's saying, yo, she get pregnant, she the one that got to deal with that baby. And
Mm-hmm.
so they was going back and forth, and it's like what they doing is like they giving you the person that's ruthless and like he don't care. But then you got the other ones like, nah, like that ain't right. Like I wouldn't have had
Absolutely.
sex with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they do that. But go ahead and finish your point, man.
I mean, nah, you actually put it in the better words than I could, because that's actually where I was going. I wasn't gonna use the house party reference, but that was actually a great reference. Um, but I was just pretty much saying, just based on the fact that you know what I'm saying, they always kept those positive messages in their movies. You know what I'm saying, they always had something, you know what I'm saying, with moral integrity, you know what I'm saying, in everything that they did, whether it was the music or the movies or, you know what I'm saying, just anything for that nature, it always had, you know what I'm saying, like some dope part to it to where when you watched it, you was like, yo, this shit is, you know what I'm saying, like you can get with this. Your mom didn't have an issue with you watching it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was something that if you know you were a certain age group, it was okay for you to watch. It was okay for you to be a part of because remember at the time, like in the '90s, bro, we was watching and doing pretty much any and everything we wanted to. Like the '90s was a
Yes.
wild time. People say like the '80s and stuff was a wild time, and don't get me wrong, the '80s definitely was. But like yo, the '90s, like yo, if you was a kid in the '90s, bro, you pretty much was doing like whatever was clever at the time. You didn't have like it was a bunch of people who didn't have a bedtime. It was people who didn't have curfews, and you know what I'm saying. Like people had TVs and all kind of stuff. Like people had phones in their rooms. Like it was a lot going on. You know what I'm saying. Just being a kid in the '90s, and to me, this like these movies that they were making was just pretty much showing you what it was like to be, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like black youth in those times.
Man, so check this out. So I just pulled an old move, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I just looked up. This movie came out in '92. Class Act came out in '92. So let me just throw
Mm-hmm.
some shit out there, right? Juice came out in '92.
Yeah.
School Ties, South Central, My Cousin Vinny, Reservoir Dogs, White Man Can't Jump, Malcolm X, Mo Money,
Mm.
American Me, Hoffa. You know what I'm saying? Like these
Yeah.
are movies, you know what I'm saying? Some movies that came out in '92. Baby's Kids came out in
Oh man.
'92. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and like you said, like I mean, I'm pretty sure I had it like a bedtime, but like it wasn't. Oh yeah, Candyman, Deep Cover
Yeah.
came out in '92. But yeah, like I wasn't censored. Like my mom went like, "Oh, this movie's rated R. It's PG-13. You can't watch
Right.
it." It wasn't no shit like that. She didn't give a fuck. She was just like,
Absolutely.
gave me the remote. You know what I'm saying? And I just watched what I
Mm-hmm.
watched. So, but yeah, like I wanted to single out like some of the black movies that came out around that time. And like, yeah, you're definitely right about it. Oh man, I forgot about Dr. Giggles. Yo, that movie was crazy, man. I did not want to go
Doctor
to the dentist after
Giggles.
that shit. You never seen that shit about the dentist
No, I'm
that
afraid
was
not, my
ta-
man.
taking motherfuckers' teeth out? Yo, that shit was scary, boy. I didn't want to go to the dentist after seeing that shit. Man, he was just taking motherfuckers' teeth out, man. That shit was crazy. Um, but yeah, like
That's a
I mean,
wild name for a movie in general, though. Just Doctor Giggles is wild.
oh man, we had some crazy high school movies, dude. Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out in '92 as well.
Yeah.
When you just think about like the movies of what they showed you with high school, like I know every like you could be in the same state and still like school is just different. Like school is just built upon like people that oh man, Boomerang came out in '92 as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but all high schools were different. Like no high schools were the same. But like the movies that we was watching and some of the images that you was getting from like high school movies. Like I mean, think about it this way. They saying the Class X is a high school movie. These motherfuckers like 30. Like it's like, is that what people gonna look like when I get in high school? So it's just
Man, it was a few of them in my high school that kind of looked like that. I knew a couple dudes that looked like Wedge, bro, in the face and like super strong.
Yo, that's funny. That's funny. I like we had some dudes that was like on the football team and shit, but like nobody really looked like they was 30 in my high school.
Yeah,
Man, you had
cause I mean, like when you think about it, bro, like you don't really like in the movie it don't bother you. Like especially like when you're a kid, it don't bother you because you just thinking that it's you really ain't even realizing that they in high school at that point. You just looking at it like, oh man, these dudes is wilding. But until you realize that these niggas is at high school, then you like, wait a minute, this is a grown man. Like even Wedge, like the fact that Wedge was in high school was crazy to me because I'm like, fam, there's no way that this nigga is any age that he's saying he is.
Okay, what's worse, Wedge or oh man, why are they group names slipping my mind? The bullies in the
Full
house
force.
party. Full force. Full force. So what's worse, full force or Wedge?
Definitely, Wedge.
Really?
Because in house party, like you knew they was in high school, but you didn't really know. Like it didn't really feel like they was in high school. Cause like that story, even the story of it, it could have went any way. Like them could have just been some niggas in college. You know what I'm saying? And he just had that moment where he just decided that uh he gonna you know what I'm saying have a house party or whatever, but he still lived with his dad. So like to me, any of that could have been what it was. It didn't have to necessarily be the fact that you know what I'm saying he was in high school, but in class act like I mean just the title of it alone, of course, but also the fact that it was a bunch of times that these niggas was in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah, they gave you more because in house party they only gave us really the lunchroom scene really.
Yeah.
Like that was really it, really. Um, but in class at like you actually saw Blade give a presentation of a car of his car when they was talking about sex ed. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, the first
He was
teacher
way too in
was
love with that car, bro.
that too, but yo, that first teacher. I mean, you want to talk about sexual harassment? Soon as he walked into the classroom, my guy, she stops class,
Mm-hmm.
completely stops class, go grab
Mm-hmm.
his hand, guide him to the front of the of
Come
the
on, man.
classroom,
Come
stick her
on,
leg
man.
out. She put her feet on his desk, like it's like yo, like and see, and this is what I'm saying. It's it's problematic, but at the same time, unfortunately, there is a double standard.
Yeah.
Like us watching that, we looking at it like, well, shit. If the teacher bad, cool.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's like, yo, this woman is a grown ass woman. He's supposed to be 17 or 18 years old. You don't supposed to be throwing yourself at a student like that. And she was
Well, I
completely
mean,
throwing herself at
if
him.
he was 18, then I don't really see the beef. But if he was like
Well,
17 or whatever, then yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, but then this dude did, and that's another thing. Was like when you go back and you look at it, he did a presentation about his car in sex ed,
Yeah,
and
which
and the
is
only thing
wild.
he said to tie it together was where does most sex happen? Like, come
Hey,
on, man, get the fuck out of here,
at the time, he did have a point though. He definitely had a point. So I
come
really
on,
wasn't mad at him for that. Like he had a
man.
decent point.
And she was like, he's a genius all of a sudden. Cause she was like,
I mean,
what
when
does
we
this
know why he was a genius.
yo,
My man
what
was
does
slapping them skins, bro.
man, what does this the presentation was showing the engine of the car. He's talking about he was like the shaft. You know what I'm saying? He's in there talking about the shaft and shit. It's like, come on, man. This shit ain't got nothing to do with fucking
That's
sex,
funny as
yo.
hell, bro.
Hey, that shit is hilarious. Like, but yeah, like they did that. Like it was way more school and class scenes in class act. And then the whole
Hmm.
thing about the gym when he was in when the coach had him kicking field goals.
Yeah, in the gym is crazy.
Well, they was on the that was it.
Kicking the
Oh
field
no,
goal.
this oh yeah, yeah, that's
No, I'm
crazy.
saying kicking field goals in gym. That's crazy. Like, why is that a requirement? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, just what are we doing, bro?
dude,
Like,
I
I
have.
can see if you learning a sport like volleyball or something that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like on some team shit. Kicking field goals is not a fucking that should have never been a requirement, bro. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. That was super weird. And then like they just happened to just have a full breakout football game at gym where there's a kickoff and everything.
You should,
Like,
that's
what
what I'm
the
saying.
fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
And
That
then
that that, that whole scene was just weird to me. Cause that never
it was weird
happened
because
in school.
and then so Duncan got on a red shirt, Popsicle got on a yellow
Hmm.
shirt, but they on the same team. So it's
Exactly.
like, yo, what is going on in this gym class, yo? Like that
Yeah.
just wasn't. They didn't think that all the way through. And then he's running through the damn track that knocked the girls over who was damn doing hurdles. Like he's running through the
Hmm.
bleachers and Wedge is chasing him down. It was just like, okay, none
Also,
of this
Wedge
shit
wouldn't
makes no
tackle him,
sense.
bro. That's what I'm saying. It was just crazy, bro. Like when I seen that, I was just like, all right, man, y'all fooling.
Yeah, and but I think that was the whole point of the movie because we all know like there's no way this would happen. And then my
No.
two dude. And so what? So dude, I can't think of nobody's name anymore. My man used to stay up on the fifth floor in Martin. Uh,
Bro, man, I forgot what his
bruh
name
man.
was too.
Yeah, so bruh man is in this movie, and him and his other dude, they just hanging out around the high school, and they just happen to pop up on him and Wedge and keep running Wedge head into trash cans and just toss him
I
out.
think I think they was like Blaze cousins or like best friends or something like that, or like some dudes that he knew in the neighborhood.
But dude, they on campus. Like they don't supposed to be there. There's
Yeah,
no way these dudes are
that's
high
what
school
was
students.
that's what was so funny about it, bro. Was just the fact like these like you got Wedge who I'm sure that nigga had to be like 19, bro. He had to be at least 19, bro. That nigga was way too old to be in that school.
Yo, Wedge
But
was he
you had
was
them
a
like
super
whooping on
senior.
his ass, and he was
Yeah,
he was making it fair. He was making it fair. You know what I'm saying for Duncan? Like, yo, this big ass. I mean, that big ass nigga knew he couldn't do nothing with him, bro, and he just kept trying to, you know what I'm saying, like get Duncan, bro. First and foremost, you know what I'm saying. You gotta take that L, man. You gotta take that L.
you
If
gotta
he
take
gets
that
your
L.
girl, he gets your girl. Yeah, he gets your girl, he gets your girl, bro. That ain't you can't get mad at him for that. You gotta get mad at her.
That was my whole point of this whole thing was how even the scene where that was funny when Dougie Doug came up because he was like, Demeanor, I thought you were gonna play with my frog. And she said, Your frog ain't jumping in my direction. And then and then he walks off outside and then Popsicle pop up, hey Demeanor, I thought you were gonna play with my frog. Like, yo, that's fucking stupid. But it's just like, yo, if your girl choose somebody else, yo, she choose somebody else. Why you keep chasing this dude around and trying to beat this dude up, man? It's just like obviously your girl has made a
Yeah,
choice,
it was
man. She
just
had a change of
it
heart.
was weird.
Yeah, that
It was
that
just
whole
super
part was
super
weird.
weird, man.
Yeah, but that was funny. Like that, like when they was at the bus, not the bus stop, but when they was at the red light, and he was
Yeah.
like let's race, and this motherfucker runs straight into a cop, and Duncan put it in reverse.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, this movie's wild, man. Like I
The hey,
like the whole
when he was in Blade's car, bro, you talking about hilarious, my nigga. Like he knew good and goddamn well he ain't had no business being in that car.
that yeah, that was funny, but I think to me a lot of the funniest scenes as a collection was in the wax museum. Like the Wax
Yeah.
Museum, there was so many memorable moments in there. Like that shit was just so funny. I like
When
that's
they was
probably
in the when they was in the when they was when they was in the vents. Yo, come on, man. You talking about an unnecessary scene for a movie? That was it right there.
I don't know which part when his head ran into her butt. And she said, "Oh."
Yeah, bro. She's like, ooh. I'm like, come on, bro. All right. Just an unnecessary moment, man.
Hey, that was funny. He ran into
That
her ass
was
hard
hilarious
too.
though. He definitely did.
No, I like how they like when they got to the hunted part and and they was walking through and so Meek and Wedge was walking together and then he was like, hey, he said, yo, go that way. He was like, no, I'm staying with you. and then so, then so then they got back together and he was like, hey, what's that? And he smacked him in the head and he told him to go. So then they ended up getting back together. They was walking through and he
Where
got
was
scared.
they at that made him scared like that?
That it was like the haunted section of the
Oh
wax
yeah, yeah,
museum.
yeah.
But no, the one part is when he turned around and he saw that one head. He was like,
Yeah.
shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. Hey man, that shit was so funny. That shit
Big
would
ass
never get
can't make you
old, man.
scared of nothing, bro.
Scared of the damn waxes, man. Like the wax people. Like that was so funny. He was like, man, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. Hey, that shit was funny. And then,
Yeah.
yo, I know you remember. So was this a thing up there, right? So let me ask you this. So
Hmm.
there was a thing down here, and I told them, look, I don't play them their games. Like it was a time when smacking people in the back of the head was a thing. Like when somebody
Oh,
would do or say
absolutely.
something
That was. What
stupid.
do you mean?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure it wasn't just down here.
We had hold on. We had BB Butcher. You know what I'm saying? That was one of our big games. And we had my nuts itch. You know what I'm saying? We had BB Butcher. We had got your neck, like
Oh
all that
yeah,
shit.
got your neck. Like when they were like just like
Yeah.
grab like cuff it and like pull real hard.
Rip that motherfucker. Yep, we had that.
Yes.
And
Yep.
then yeah, we used to slap each other in the back of the neck. That wasn't the game. We just used to just do that just because it was funny. Just smack a nigga in the back of the neck. That was just funny as hell. So yeah, no, we had all that shit. We did all that. Like, because you gotta remember too, not only was, you know what I'm saying, like I was super, super active in them times, like outside and like being around older kids and all that shit. So I was usually always the one getting experimented on. And so when I did something, it always resulted into a fight because I was the smaller one, so they always wanted to
Uh-huh.
fight me. Somebody else do it was cool, but as soon as I get to smacking somebody in the back of the neck or hitting somebody in the head, all of a sudden everybody want to fight now. You know what I'm saying? So that was
Yeah,
my life growing up. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Or
funny.
was somebody look down real quick, you hit them with up my nuts.
Man, we used to
Yeah,
have
we
man,
we had all them games.
they used to throw farts in people's face.
That's
Yo.
crazy.
Yeah, people used to get their hand, cuff it on their
Never, I don't, I've never
ass.
heard of no shit like that.
And then they would just throw their hand in your face and then you just get a whiff and you be like, yo, y'all
Yeah,
motherfuckers is
nah,
stupid. I was like, nah, don't put me in that.
absolutely
Nah.
not, absolutely not. Not if you want to make it to see tomorrow.
Yeah,
Don't
I
get me wrong, I was a little nigga, but I was feisty. I didn't like shit like that. That's how
see,
niggas
yeah.
get beat up.
I didn't like none of it. I ain't like the smack in the back of the neck, like none of
Yeah,
that. It was like yo, I'm not playing. I'm not playing with that shit, man. I'm not playing with that. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I was just making sure. It's crazy how shit be so universal. You could be from totally two different places, and then like everybody's still doing the same shit.
Oh yeah, of course. I know y'all went, you know what I'm saying? White kids call it ding dong ditch, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere had their own little name. We called it nigga knocking. But did y'all ever play that?
Yeah, just knocking people doing take out running.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. We did that
Did y'all
too.
I know y'all used to play hide and go get it.
Hold on, hide and go get it. Hold on, wait a minute. I play hide and go seek. What's hide and go
You
get it?
never played hide and go get it?
Well, we might have when we named it something else. What is it?
Hide and go get it is when like it was hide and seek, but it was boys versus girls. And y'all, you know what I'm saying, one team go hide and you used to go find who you like and you used to, do
Nah,
your thing
nah, we didn't do that.
if you found them. And the people was always easy to find. I'll just keep it at 100, bro. Niggas was easy to find like a motherfucker in that game. Well, nobody really hiding.
That's funny. Nah, we didn't play that one. We didn't play that one, but
Oh yeah,
yeah,
nah, man. We used to play hide and go get it, boy. That used to be the game, man.
hide and go get it. That's
Yes,
hilarious.
sir.
Okay, cool,
Yes,
cool.
sir. You talking about a good night.
Sounds like it.
Listen, you go nigga knocking, and then you know what I'm saying. Everybody in the neighborhood go outside because 9 times out of 10, you done knocked on somebody's door who, you know what I'm saying, who wasn't outside too. So then by that time, they like, Mom, the kids outside, da, da. And then you know what I'm saying, depending on where you lived at, it was all cool. So everybody be outside chilling, and then shit, they was like, yo, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And then they mom or dad would come outside or whatever, or, you know what I'm saying? And then they be chilling. All the grown ups would be outside chilling on the patios and the front porches. And then, you know what I'm saying? All the kids would be running through the neighborhood. And then, you know what I'm saying? We just have a nice little time.
That's what's up. Oh
Yeah,
man,
buddy.
wish we can go back to them days.
Oh, man. I'm talking about no bills, no nothing.
Oh,
Great time.
yes,
Great
sir.
time. Great time. So all right, man, let's go ahead and do this, bro. Are you ready for the fire flame?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
So what you got, bro?
Um, love the cast, man. Excuse me. I love the cast. Like, this movie still holds up. Still a classic in the sense of what it meant. Like we said it during this podcast. Like, yeah, it's not the greatest script. It's not the best of acting, but it's just one of those films, man, where it really really holds up and it means something to a certain group. And
Yeah,
so for
yeah.
it meaning what it means, I'm gonna give it a 4, but it's not the 4 of like this is gonna be the best movie you ever seen. It's a 4 of like what it meant, and also at the same time, like the moments, like the shit is still funny to this day. It's like this
Mm-hmm.
movie is 30 years old and it's still funny. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4, man.
That's what's up, man. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think that for the height and popularity of who Kid and Play was and what they stood for, you know what I'm saying, what they meant to pop culture at the time, and for them to be as great as they were at what they did, I thought that was very important. For them to be able to make the type of movies that they did, especially when at the time like rap music was like it was like this, it was supposed to be this thing that, you know what I'm saying, like you couldn't be an artist, like you couldn't be a rapper without you know what I'm saying, taking your craft serious and like all this other stuff. But they found a way to make it fun. They found a way to make it interesting. They found a way to, um, you know what I'm saying, have it in a lane where a lot of people couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Dougie Doug was in the movie to where he had like the early '90s was like he was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go for it, man. Funny movie, great cast. It's just one of the ones that you know what I'm saying. If you had to watch again, you could definitely rewatch without no issues. I don't really see I don't really see any, you know what I'm saying, like any bad coming from the movie. So yeah, four.
That's what's up. I ain't mad at it.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and get into, you know what I'm saying, our next segment, the coming soon.
Let's do
Coming
it.
soon to own on video and DVD.
So what we got next, bro?
I've been trying to do this movie for like a year and a half, man. Um, yo, I fucks with this movie, man. It's one to me. It's one of Denzel Washington's most underrated movies, man.
hmm
The movie we got coming up, man. We got Ricochet,
Yeah.
and this was just one of those movies. How I even came aware of Ricochet, like my mom had it on VHS,
hmm
and like so I just always had access to it, and like I would just watch it. And I think the premise of it is wild, man. That this dude that he had ended up getting arrested just came back for payback and just got down and just ruined my man's life, man. And he had to go out. He had to go out and get this gangster that he used to be cool with, which is Ice T. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? to uh to uh to get this dude back locked up because he was setting them up and all this type of shit. So yeah, man, Ricochet, man, it's a really, really good movie, man. So I definitely look forward to doing this one.
Absolutely, man. Anytime you do a Denzel movie, it's always a good movie, so you really can't complain about it. Um, So if you guys enjoyed this episode, if you guys enjoyed Class Act, you know what I'm saying, if you guys want to further the conversation and talk about it just a little bit more, feel free to hit us up on all the socials, Instagram and Twitter at View9Pod. You could also hit us up on Facebook at VA Pod Watch Group. If you are looking for me personally, you can find me on Twitter at Scoots Bronston. I got a link to in my bio where you can find me everywhere else.
And y'all can find me at excuse me at s.foster8 on Instagram at Instagram and Twitter, excuse me, at 28 minutes or less pod. That's just on Instagram. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. I put out one of my gangster episodes, man. I did episode one, was it 114? I think episode 114. I did a guy by the name of Willie Lloyd, man. He was one of the leaders of the Vice Lords in Chicago. So so I did one of those episodes. Go check that out on all major platforms.
That's what's up, man. And thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for always showing love. Um, you know what I'm saying? We do this not just for the love of it, but we do this for you too. So until the next episode, man, we can't wait to do it. Can't wait to, you know what I'm saying, see you guys like they say in Hollywood. That's the wrap.
Cut.